and break it down for me. Let the world know you are not my enemy. Don't you prove me wrong, you can trust me when I say it won't be long.
What's up, Saiyans? Warhar here. The gameplay that you're seeing in the background is one of the latest gameplays from Dragon Ball Z Fighters. But today is not about gameplay. It's about addressing the, they call them the haters. It's about addressing the people who are not really on the bandwagon or on board with Dragon Ball Fighters. Now, a lot of people are saying that people are overhyping Dragon Ball Fighters, and it's not really a great game. A lot of people are trying to find just little things to target to say why Dragon Ball Fighters is not good and why we should have had another Raging Blast or Budokai Tenkaichi game, or Burst Limit even, which I kind of see this as a reaching out to the 2D fans. But they say even Burst Limit, all the old titles that were so-called were supposed to be great in the fan base community, but just didn't sell well. They want to see those games get attempted again, and just some people just want to see Xenoverse 3 right off the bat, because Xenoverse 2 has already pretty much begun to start dying out at this last DLC pack. A lot of people will probably drop the game and get off because just the DLC was the only thing that was really keeping people hopes alive. And a lot of things were done, but a lot of things were like slowly brought in to try to prolong the game's longevity, to try to just hype you up. So a lot of fans already got tired of that and just dropped the game immediately. But let me just address this, guys. You got to understand that it's not overhyping. 2D fans have been waiting years. If you look at the last Dragon Ball Z games, we got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Ultimate Tenkaichi, Battle Z. Those last 4 titles were made in a row, and they were all 3D games. The 2D game fans have been screaming since Infinite World to get another 2D game. So you gotta I feel it. I feel the need to try to attempt it again. I'm glad that they the Arc System decided, hey, I'm gonna attempt to make a 2D game instead of going for the same 3D fight style. And it's an adjustment for me because I like both 2D and 3D, so I'm not gonna actually get mad and choose over which one should be made. But I can't say that, hey, you can't feel the way you feel. So this is, like I said, this is not an attack on the fans saying you can't feel the way you feel about wanting to see Budokai or Raging Blast attempted again. But it is to tell you that you kind of got to step aside and put your wants aside, like the 2D fans had to do, in order to see Dragon Ball have more games out there and to extend its fan base beyond just the normal, hey, we like 3D fun games. We don't really care for the competitive side of Dragon Ball anymore. We just want to create our characters, eat ass out, guys. But anyway, beat people's ass up and just, be powerful and transform into the legendary warrior, Super Saiyan, Golden Freezes, and all that stuff. Xenoverse stuff, all the Avatar crap. You got to kind of step aside because you had those games for the last 2 years and just say, hey, I welcome the 2D game. If you don't want to do that, then you don't have to actually even play the game. I'm not saying that you have to play the game. I'm saying you have to step aside because you have no choice, really, to be honest. This game is being made regardless if you like it or not, and the game is going to probably sell well regardless if you like it or not, just because people are just happy to see more titles on the Dragon Ball Z market. So, like I said, it's not an attempt to tell you how to feel, but it's an attempt to kind of enlighten you on the suffering that 2D fans had to go through. And a lot of it was a lot of bitching, complaining, as you guys call it. I call it just speaking your mind, but bitching and complaining. A lot of it was a lot of feedback given to say, hey, Dragon Ball Xenoverse just ain't it for me. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 just is not it for me. All those games that they had to suffer through and sit down and just play because it was the only Dragon Ball Z game on the market, unless they go back to the same old great game, but it just gets repetitive after a while playing the same game title with no improvements. And say you want to play the super characters or the newer characters, you can on those games unless you mod, and still it's not the same. So I understand the pain that he had to go through, and that's why I kind of don't understand why people are getting really hurt by seeing this game being made. Now, a lot of people said it's a copy and paste of Tekken and Marvel, and I understand that, Dragon Ball has never really been in this type of fighter in a while, unless you played the older games like Super Dragon Ball. Ooh, can't do it. I don't know. I never played that game. I can't really judge, but I have played it and I've heard things, but I can't really say anything on it. But just in case you haven't played those type of games, this is just, giving you a shot at another, potential Dragon Ball Z game out on the market. You don't have to buy it, but it will have some fans, and it's just great to see more Dragon Ball Z games on the market. It's pretty much the big point I wanted to make. Other than that, I mean, Xenoverse 3 will be made. That's another thing. Xenoverse fans, 3D games will never stop being made. So don't get scared and say, oh my god, the 2D fans are running over us or whatever, and they got the fighting game community behind their back. No. 3D games will always be made. It's just, you have to kind of step aside and allow it to be variety on the market to play. Because it gets stale after a while playing the same Dragon Ball game, and it's not something that you're into. Now, if you're into Xenoverse, then you have no problem with it. But if you're not into Xenoverse and you feel you have to play it because it's the only Dragon Ball Z game available to you on the PS4, then it gets kind of tiresome after a while, and you lose interest in even playing Dragon Ball. Hey, I have friends like that. Not gonna call nobody out, but they get tired of dealing with the same old, jumping on people, beat them up, chaotic crap. They just want to have a competitive time and play some good old one-on-one Dragon Ball like the old days. So, I mean, guys, just be open to it. If not, just wait for some more Dragon Ball Z games to be made. It's going to be a while, just like they had to wait. You're going to have to probably wait 2 3D fans. I'm going to end it on here. I'm still going to probably be critiquing Dragon Ball Z games like I always do. I'm never going to say it's okay for this game to do this, even though it's looking good. I'm never going to completely go fanboy and say I'll just ignore the obvious. I will always keep speaking up for Dragon Ball Z games, wanting them to do better, wanting to see them be better, and wanting to be really good at the games and have fun with my friends and you guys online. One thing that this thing can't change though is this community. This game can never change the Dragon Ball Z community. That's something that we have to do ourselves. So I don't know. Just don't tear each other heads off in comment sections and stuff like that and get mad. If you do get mad, just give social media a rest and take care, Saiyans. I can't wait.